Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield. He had a huge bounce-back win last night after the Bengals game. And after last week's blowout loss, some were saying Baker was fighting to keep his job. Cough, I was that somebody. He started off hot, completing his first 5 passes and threw 2 touchdowns, including a 43-yard bomb to OBJ. Bucky back with us, but Marcellus, did Baker quiet his critics in last night's win against the Bengals?
No, he did not. And I'm not going to take any more shots at Baker Mayfield because I think I'm starting to be perceived out of character, out of context. I take no joy in shooting down any player because I want every player to go out there and succeed. I want every player to make their dough and get all the awards and accomplishments they can. However, I'm also employed to point out issues and scrub play when I see it. So let's talk about what Baker Mayfield did yesterday. One, he did not look like a #1 overall pick should look when you have a running game that's eaten like that. What we saw from Baker Mayfield and a 200-plus rush yard effort from his team, those teams since last year are 36-2. You really don't lose games when you got a running attack like that. And that supported Baker Mayfield. He made some good plays. He also made some bad plays and kept Cincinnati in that game with that late interception as well. But if you look at it from where I'm looking at it, this is the problem with Baker Mayfield. If you're the #1 overall pick, you got to shine, especially when everything is rolling for you. Baker Mayfield is like a nice house. And you're like, oh, okay, honey, let's go check out this nice house we've seen. And then the realtor finally hits you with the price tag. And you're like, how much? Baker Mayfield is way overvalued, overpriced based on being a #1 pick, based on the numbers we are seeing. We basically saw Baker Mayfield yesterday go out there and have a bad Lamar Jackson game without 50 yards rushing. And then everybody's like, oh, he silenced the critics. He didn't silence no damn critics. The critics, if they really want to dive into the details, saw what Baker Mayfield does best. Play on the short week. Here's the numbers of Baker Mayfield. 2 wins in terms of him playing on a short week, higher completion percentage, 64, 100 passer rating on these short weeks. When you get him on any other week, any other day or normal work week, 61 completion percentage and 84 passer rating. When you get film time and film sessions on Baker Mayfield, somehow, some way, the league has been able to figure him out.
Yeah, Baker, he didn't quiet the critics. He didn't silence them, at least. You know, he maybe made us hush up a little bit for a beat. But we got to paint the facts are the facts. They got to be over the feelings always. What Baker showed us is that he's better than the worst team in the NFL. The Bengals drafted Joe Burrow, the #1 pick, for a reason. So Baker Mayfield beating the worst team in the league, that's to be expected. All I learned last night was this, that Baker Mayfield and the Browns are somewhere between 32 points worse than the Ravens, arguably the best team in the league, and better than the worst team in the league. Really think about this for a second. Baker Mayfield, he's 4-1 against the Bengals. He's 9-17 against the rest of the National Football League. Baker did yesterday what Baker's supposed to do and what he always does, beat a terrible team.
Terrible.
Now, Baker gave us a great first half of football. So Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, silenced the critics. Baker showed me he has a little bit of promise, but I can't sit there after watching Baker play terrible for a season, you could argue a season and a half, and let one half of football silence all the doubt. It's just not that simple. I need to see more.
More.
No, I think we all need to see more from Baker Mayfield. But I think the biggest thing that really makes the Baker Mayfield evaluation problematic, he was the #1 overall pick.
Yep.
And typically when you take a guy #1, he has special traits. When I look at Baker Mayfield, I don't know what makes him special. It's not his height, his athleticism, his arm talent. So what is it? I don't know. But this is what I will say. He has an opportunity to kind of follow in the footsteps of Jared Goff, because I think we had some of these same conversations with Jared Goff. He is surrounded by an A-plus supporting cast. They have everything that you want to see. 2-head monster at running back and Chubb and Hunt, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper. The offensive line can move people off the ball. Kevin Stefanski is a solid play caller. What Baker Mayfield has to do is embrace who he is. And what he is a high-end game manager. If he just takes care of the ball, lets the playmakers do what they do, eventually make a play or two, he can live the life of Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, and those guys. Because those guys make money, but that is where Baker Mayfield is going to reside.
To your point, Bucky, you just led me to the next point. Appreciate you handing the baton. Stick, I'm going to take it and run with it. Think about this. Baker Mayfield didn't win the game for the Browns yesterday. He just didn't lose it for them. Now, I'm going to say that again because some people at home are like, what are you talking about, Acho? Baker Mayfield didn't win the game. He didn't put the team on his back. He didn't lead and march them down a game-winning drive. Baker Mayfield just didn't lose the game, which we've seen him do last year, throwing, 21 or so interceptions. If you want to be a head coach and you're sitting at home, you got to know 3 catchphrases. If we're going to win a game, we got to be able to run the ball. If we're going to win a game, we got to be able to win the turnover battle. If we're going to win a game, we got to dominate time of possession. Well, the Browns did about 2 of those 3 things. You ran for 220-some-odd yards on 35 attempts. The Browns couldn't lose yesterday, not because of Baker, but because of everybody else. But kudos to Baker, because Baker didn't cause the Browns to lose the game. And right now, if you're a Browns fan, that's really all you can ask for after you look at what Baker did to y'all last year.
Man, nah, I can ask for more. It's all based on what you had to give up and what's the price. Like Bucky said, it's because he's a first overall pick. I must look at him through that lens to justify him being a first overall pick. Look, this is what happened yesterday. We gave a bad student an easy test so we can say that they're smart. And then we're like, yeah, look how smart they look.
That's
that
good,
was an easy
Marcellus.
test. Come on, y'all. Look, this dude has been in the league and played 31 career games. He's 13-18. The Cincinnati Bengals in their last 31 games are 6-25. That was a bad test for anybody to stand on. And I must speak for Odell Beckham Jr. right now, because everybody's out there saying, oh, I see the chemistry. Oh, it's going to work. Let me tell you how Odell really feels. He had 77 yards receiving. You know where that ranks for Odell Beckham Jr. on his resume? 43rd all time. The hell? This chemistry? That's what y'all call this? He hook up with this producer and he can't even get a top 40 hit? The hell is this? So y'all need to miss me. I play football, meritocracy, numbers, impact. If you ain't doing it, I'm sorry, I got to come up here and do my job. Coming up in